So, welcome back. Let's again highlight what are the other need of positive psychology, why there was a need of emergency of a discipline. So, out of these pathological explorations of some exploring or curing mental illness, so people started thinking about what about those who do not have mental illness, but still they are not able to develop as normal individuals. So, positive events, information processes and interactions simply occur more frequently than negative ones, but nobody care about those things. There are many positive things happening every moment to us. We do not pay attention to that. We do not catch hold of them. How do we been able to do that? Maybe we may be in a better positions in terms of our current status. So, that is why we often always, whenever there is stress, we always try to focus on how to manage it, what are the ways out. Sometimes you go to doctor, sometimes you go to psychiatrist, sometimes you go to psychologist, but when you are happy you never go to any doctor, you never go to any psychologist. So, how long we can hold those happy moments, positive moments, so that we can cherish more better moments of our life. So, that is why negative information or events and interactions become the figure to the positive ground. So, if you establish a figure ground relationship, so these negatives are figured, but we put the positive one into the grounds, the backgrounds. So, that is why we never realize the importance of positivity in our life. So, that is what exactly Seligman tried to highlight. Because of positive processes that occur more often, their impact on long term outcomes may be even greater. Because that is why people often say that if you study out of compulsion, what will happen? You are not interested, you are not motivated, you do not have any zeal. But if you study it because of tension, because exam tension, exam stress, many things will not go into your mind. So, that is why they are not remembered in a better way, they will not last long. But if you study something in a comfortable way, studying with full motivation, may last long. That is the power of positivity. That is what exactly Seligman trying to say, that positive impact has enduring in nature. So, we should try to practice and hold them and make use of them in our daily activities. Then positive psychology defined as that a psychology that will reorient back to its two neglected missions, making normal people stronger and more productive, as well as making high human potential. That was the focus of the positive psychology, making even normal people, stronger and more productive. If you critically examine the recent American political campaign, this was the exact slogan of the Trump. So, what is the slogan of Trump, Donald Trump? Make America great again, because America is already great. So, let us make it great again. So, he did not highlight any negativity of Americans, rather he said America is a great country. So, let us make it great again, because on the umbrella of the democratic leadership, they feel that it is going down. So, let us stop that and make it great again. So, we can make any normal individual great again by positive psychology. So, that is the making ordinary people extraordinary, making ordinary people as extraordinary. Probably this is the biggest slogan that we could make out of the positive psychology slogans. However, there are other psychologists who say that positive psychology is nothing else but psychology adopting the same scientific method, it is interested in simply that works rather than what does not. So, this is a beautiful interpretation of the whole applications of psychology. So, it helps us to work what does not work in the right time and to the right persons. So, basically people started talking about the three pillars of positive psychology is positive emotion, positive traits and positive institutions. So, these are three important domains of positive psychology. One is positive emotion, then positive trait, how we can nurture positive trait or character within a person, so that we can build up positive institutions. Positive institutions are essential in creating platform for nurturing positive talents, positive people and positive organizations. In the process, we will be also discussing about how these positive emotions, traits and institutions are instrumental in creating positive communities. Because this is very essential in today's time. When you look at the global scenario right now, everywhere is chaos, confusion and conflict. So, there is no international peace, it is highly disturbed. So, it is very essential to explore the positivity within people. So, let us begin with what is this positive emotions. So, psychologists have put emotional intelligence under the domain of positive emotions. How we can nurture positive emotions among people, so that their feeling aspects goes up, they feel balanced, they feel happy and their well-being goes up. So, this is what we call the classification of emotions. If you look into one side is positive, another is set of unpleasant or negative emotions. One occurs due to high arousals. High arousal emotions can affect the performance, but high arousal positive emotions can enhance the performance, and under low arousal performance goes down. So, this is another method that was given by Barbara Fredrickson. This is otherwise known as the broaden and build model of positive emotions. In one of my students, Paprinath, she has worked on this model, and we found to be that how positive emotion facilitates cognitive flexibility, and we have published a couple of paper on this. One paper was published in Psychological Studies also. So, once a positive emotions are facilitated, that expands the horizon of thinking, that facilitates the divergent thinking process. That is where we call the broaden the thought action report here, which builds up enduring resources. When you are in a positive state friend or mind friends or emotional state, you try to hold the resources for longer period. So, that creates a enduring base for your personal resources, which can facilitate achievement of optimum levels, where you feel that you have achieved a state of contentness, where you feel that leads to what we call well-being, a state of well-being. So, that is why we call it the upward spiral of the positive emotions. The broaden and build model of emotions highlights that it broadens the thought action reporters, how our thinking and actions are interconnected, undoing of harmful effects of negative emotions. Say for examples, like the moment you start undoing the impact of negative emotions, you will be likely to enhance your cognitive profile. Third is positive meaning finding. We have seen that people, we try to conduct experiment on creating sad movies and bringing negative emotion, inducing negative emotion on students. Then after giving them a break to the subjects, then we again introduce a positive movie, say for example, say laughter movie, and then the subjects, they laugh a lot, they are very happy. Then we also try to give them some cognitive task, and we ask them, okay, can you write a story now based on what is coming to your life. We have seen that more meaningful stories have come up when they are in positive state than negative one. So, this clearly indicates that the impact of positive emotions always enhances cognitive flexibility or cognitive thinking or any a cognitive related task. The next is building resources, say for example, like cognitive, physical, psychological in long term. People those who are positive, they are in a good state, which facilitates neurological interactions, which enhances the neuroimmune systems. So, that is a physical as well as psychological well-being, that creates a state of physical and psychological well-being. And as we seen that the cognitive flexibility expands during positive moments. So, it also builds up the cognitive resources or what we call the intellectual abilities of a person. Now, talking about positive individual traits, when we talk about positive traits, we talk about character, strengths and virtues. These are otherwise known as what we call the wisdom, courage, humanity, justice, temperance, transcendence, etc., etc. So, as we all have already discussed about intelligence, wisdom, creativity, I do not want to repeat it again, but however, there are certain other virtues or characteristics like courage. A person who is virtuous, righteous, truthful. So, these are what we call sources of courage. If you are confident, you are a righteous person, you are a truthful person, you are a wise person. So, you are likely to develop courage and confidence. And yes, we often say that peace and tranquility, we call it temperance and transcendence. These are two terms related to one's peace and tranquility, and that could be established by practicing spirituality at in general or workplace spirituality at workplace. So, these are some of the positive qualities. Spirituality enhances temperance, spirituality enhances transcendence. In fact, these are certain areas like when you enhance the domain, enhance and expand the domain of your wisdom, spirituality, transcendence, you are likely to expand the horizon of creativity. That will lead towards achievement of excellence. Yes, positive psychologists, they also emphasizes upon the importance of the development of positive institutions. So, why we should look into creating positive institutions? Because once we are able to develop a positive institution, that will impart or nurture positive qualities in its peoples. So, a positive institutions always create positive climate that creates and develop institutions or enrich human potential. So, these positive institutions are essential. Positive institutions are essential for nurturing positive potentialities. Positive potentialities. That will build positive persons and positive families, positive work environments. In the process also, once you create positive schools, positive schoolings, like teaching students to come in time, to do their job in time, to respect others, to honor others, to compliment others, to express how to express gratitude towards their parents. Why should they be thankful to their parents, their seniors? So, these are certain qualities that needs to be nurtured in the growing populations to create a better environment for positive, creating a positive nation. So, that is why the positive, this creating or enriching positive human potential in families, in environment, in schools, in communities is very, very essential, because it reduces high risk behavior. Say for example, nurturing what is right, what is wrong, So, that is what we call ethical behavior. Moral conscience. So, these are certain attributes or virtues that will reduce the risk behavior, like faulty behavior they are likely to be. Say for examples like creating violence, aggression and violence in society. Aggression and violence, if they know what is right, what is wrong, they will be also refrain from creating conflict, creating conflict, intergroup conflict in society will be reduced. Then other social menace, like reducing other social menace. Societal menace, like social violence such as rape, murder, kidnapping, etc., etc. So, these are very essential qualities that needs to be nurtured within the youth, adult populations. Well, Seligman talks about 3 important routes to happiness. So, this is very interesting. I used to quote in the class. There are basically 3 types of life we enjoy in general. One is called the pleasant life. We are very happy. We had a good breakfast today morning. Then, is it good enough, worthy enough for us? So, then we look for the good life. And there is another is called the meaningful life. So, having many pleasures in life and the skills to amplify them, that concentrate upon the pleasant life. So, these are called the 3 phases of human life. Human life to achieve happiness. But just having pleasurable gain makes your life worth living? No, not at all. Then is it good enough that yes, I have got good dress, good house, good car to drive, then I had a good meal in the morning. Is it worth for my day? Then you look into what is the impact of all this, what is the use of all this, what is the value of all this. Then you try to know about, as a person, are you really a good person? Do other people appreciate you? Do people follow you? Do people imitate you? Knowing your strength, your signature strength, what influence others? Do you really impact others? Recreating your life, work, love, friendship, leisure, parenting. As a leader, say for you are working in organization, do your people follow you? Do your people obey you? That matters. As parents, do your children obey you? Do your children appreciate you, acknowledge you as a good parent? To use those strengths to have more flow in life. So, that is why, what is the flow? Where the concept of flow in life is essential to make your life good. So, what is that flow? The flow is that what is your positive impact on others, your kids, your surroundings, your neighborhoods. Like even Clean India, why Modi says you clean your surroundings as well as also ask others to make the meaningful life. He says that using your signature strength to serve something that believe is larger than you are. That is what is the most meaningful in your life. So, it starts, people often say that charity starts or charity begins at home. So, you started feeling a pleasurable life which is not holding your happiness longer, because when you interpret in terms of contribution it lacks. Then you search for a good life where you try to apply what is the flow in life, in which direction I am going. But the most meaningful is that have you done something for the service and benefit of others? That is enough. That is where we realize or cherish it, meaningful life, cherishing something in your life. cherishing something in one's life. Well, the roots of happiness has been carried out and people have tried to validate through empirical analysis. Then they tried to ask questions, what makes people happy? Because happiness for me is different from happiness for you. Happiness for a village person is different from happiness for a person who is living in metro. So, that is why what is not very important, is it money? The correlation between income and happiness is very weak. Even in US, we often say that Western people are materialistic people, but still money does not brings happiness or joy to their life. People often say, does age has any correlation with happiness? Age accounts for less than 1% of variations in reported happiness. So, even child has its own way of happiness. Young adult people have their own, older people also. People often say that more you grow older, you do not require any happiness, because you feel that you are now self-contained, you have seen the world. It is not like that, but gender, gender also accounts for less than 1% variations in reported age. So, it does not play a significant role, because everybody need it. So, what is not very important? Parenthood. Good and bad aspects of parenthood upset each other. If you see that there is a child, why some children become very disturbed? It is because of fault parenting. So, that is why if you find that a child is from a disturbed family, he is likely to develop faulty personality patterns. So, parenthood has a great influence on one's happiness. Intelligence, there is no association between IQ and happiness, as we all know that even a rickshawala who earns 200 rupees a day and spends by evening, he is so happy next morning, then he runs his rickshaw for next meal. So, that is why, so intelligence does not have much influence on one's happiness. Then physical attractiveness, attractive people enjoy many advantages in society, but the relationship with happiness is very weak, because more you get, more you want. So, that creates restlessness rather than happiness. Well, there are many others, like you say health and happiness, yes, have a very positive correlations. So, one needs to take care of his health, whether psychological or physiological. Then social activity, yes, people who are satisfied with their friendship reports above average level of happiness. So, people holding good interpersonal relations are likely to be more happier than those who do not have. Then religion, people with sincere religious convictions are more likely to be happy. Any religions, if you are able to connect sincerely with 100% truthfulness, then yes, you can be happy. Say for examples like, if you are a religious teacher, you should focus on always the good side of the religion, not saying that your religion is better than other religions. So, that will create restlessness and disturbs one's state of well-being. But as a sincere religious teacher with full conviction, maybe you will derive full satisfaction. Even we have seen that recently there was news that even Muslim teachers are teaching Bhagavad Gita lessons to their students. That is how they derive maximum satisfaction. Every religion has its own lessons. So, it depends on the moral conviction of the teacher. Then yes, there are many other areas, what do you say, love and marriage. Across culture it is seen that for men and women, married people are happier than people who are single or divorced. So, this indicates that yes, family life is a source of better happiness. Then work, job satisfaction is strongly related to happiness. Yes, if you are not happy with your job, you will experience a lot of stress, frustration. Even workplace aggressions are all workplace bullying has come up nowadays, is a general features of work life. Then personality, yes, extroversion characteristics happen to be positively a strong predictor of happiness. People those who are outgoing, interacting, and having a positive state of emotions are likely to be more happier. So, in conclusion, we can say that subjective feelings of happiness are more important than an objective measure. Objective measure in the sense, materialistic gains, who is possessing how much. Then happiness is very relative. Yes, this is the true fact of life. What is something important for me to make me happy may not be same for others. So, it is quite relative. We evaluate in terms of our own requirements. So, we evaluate our happiness relative to what others around us have, and yes, many times in society happiness is compared in terms of what others having, not what I have. And I have seen in Delhi, when I was working in Delhi, people always look at others, what others people have. Oh, he is having a motorcycle, oh my God, I am just having a bicycle. Oh, he is having a four-wheeler, oh, I am still at two-wheelers. There is a irrational comparing, and that brings hassles in human lives. When you, that brings restlessness, comparisons. So, therefore, more of our comparison brings unhappiness than happiness, because human wants are unlimited. You must put a full stop to your demands. So, one must learn how to cut his cloth. So, there is a popular phrase, we must cut our cloth according to our coat. So, that evaluation is very much important for the realization of one's happiness. We evaluate our happiness relative to our own expectations, that is why. Then happiness is affected by hedonic adaptations, because because it exists at the level of our satisfaction, life satisfaction. This occurs when mental scale that use the judge the pleasantness and unpleasantness of their experiences shifts, so that their neutral point or the baseline for comparison is changed. So, that is how, when you are engaged in a continuous comparison, so you are a poor person, when you compare yourself with a crorepati, so what will happen? So, your baseline will suddenly jump so much, you can never imagine and you can never fulfill in your life. So, for example, when circumstances improve, such as income, our baseline for happiness increases as well, we do not feel happiest. Say for like, when I was a young professor, my income was less than what I am today. But if I increase, yes, now I am earning more. If I enjoy more, that will enhance my happiness. No, that will only create more expectations. Then yes, the sustainability happiness model given by Seldom and Lombriski, the set point, the point or the range at which one's happiness level is generally set or fixed. Research suggests that it is generally determined based on a person's expectations. There is nothing like a fixed set points. It is set by the person's expectations. The intentional activity, actions or exercises that a person chooses to engage in. So, this can be cognitive experience, like counting one's blessings, or it can be simple behaviors. For examples like a random act of kindness, how much you are displaying kindness towards others, that is also a source of deriving satisfaction or happiness. How much I am giving to a beggar every day. There are people, why if you look at Mahabharata, Suryaput Karn, that serial was coming just few days back, it was over. Why Karn was known as the most what do you call Dharm Purush, because every morning he will go and take a dip in the river, and anybody goes to ask him anything else, he is ready to give. Danvir, so that concept Danvir, then the capacity to give others, to fulfill others' expectations, also a source of one's satisfaction. That is what we call intentional activity. Okay, we will take a break here, and when we come back, we will examine the other concepts that are related to the sustainable happiness model. Thank you.